I'm gonna mute myself.
Okay. So I thought I would start our team call by actually having Kevin answer some questions that I have. And I thought this might just be beneficial because I think sometimes like in our families, we have people who just have doubts about this business and it makes it hard for us. And so I just wanted, and like, I'm going to give time, like if you guys want to ask him a question, like you can after I ask him just a couple. He does not like doing this kind of stuff. So
Nope.
just be nice to him. But he is a sweet man. And I honestly don't think that I could do this business without him. So Kevin, the first question I have is, did you have any doubts when I started my business?
I mean, of course, just because it has to do with money that you're, especially guys, you're already doubting pretty much everything. So I guess, yeah, of course at the beginning, but when you're passionate about something, and I learned to just get on your coattail and ride that wave, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's the right analogy, but.
Well, no, it's fine.
Just because I know you're passionate about it, so of course I'm going to support you, even if I wasn't sure at the beginning, you know. But
so like now after me doing the business for about 10 months, like have those doubts changed? Like, did anything help change those doubts? Like, what have you seen?
No, I don't really have any doubts anymore. I think the biggest thing I think the biggest selling point was not having a monthly spending. Like, you don't have to spend money throughout the month or whatever.
Yeah.
Or because I know, like I did Beachbody, and you have to like spend like $100 pretty much a month to stay a coach. I'm like, that's ridiculous. So once you told me that, I was like, yeah, that's fine. Like, buy that whatever kit, and then you don't have to buy anything after that if you just want to sell it. Like, that, of course, that's a nice selling point. Even though we like the products anyway. Like, I use a lot of the products, and obviously I like them, especially the digestion. But yeah.
Good. And then, so like, if you had to tell someone's partner, so like say that like there was a girl or a guy starting their Arbonne business and their partner came to you and they had just had doubts, what would you tell them?
I mean, like I said right before, like, you don't have to pay anything extra in that little bit at the beginning, even if you just want to sell, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then just stick with it. Like, I can't tell you how many times Maddie wanted to give up because things weren't moving as quick as what she wanted. And because her upline, she was moving pretty quick through. And I'm like, she's in a different stage of life. And like, it's different. So it may take you longer, but that doesn't mean give up. So I just never allowed her to give up anyway. Even when she was like, one day she was super excited because she got a bunch of people on her team, and the next day she's down in the dumps saying she wants to quit. I'm like, dude, stop. Like, we're not doing that. You are not quitting. So
can you guys tell who like the voice of reason is in our relationship?
You go 0 to 100.
I do.
That.
I'm like 0 to 100
no,
for everything.
You are not quitting. So just supporting, you know what I mean? And it's not a major commitment of money once you, like I said, like if you don't want to use the products and just want to sell them, I think the biggest thing for Maddie, she just needs a team of people who care about it so much as her. If you get passionate people under you who can do all the work, like y'all as a team would just move up so fast, and you wouldn't have to really even work. You can do exactly everything you want to do, however you want it. So,
do you remember how long it took me to get a business partner on my team?
A couple months, maybe.
It took me like 3 months to get my first business partner.
Yeah.
And then I would say my first business partner that actually started running with me it took me about 6 months.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy. Like, it's just crazy how that happened. Okay, I'm going to open it up. If you guys have any questions, you can unmute yourself and. It's
really interesting timing because I feel like Mikey's always really encouraging, but I feel like the past few days he's been like almost like lit on fire for Arbonne, and like it has surprised me because we are so and distracted, and like a lot of days I think I feel discouraged because I'm like, I don't understand how to fit something else in, like a full-time job and 3 kids and another small business that I'm helping run. And it's just a lot. So I'm like, I know things aren't moving quickly because I know I can't do the activity I want to do, you know. But like to have him be on board and to have that reminder this week, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I can do this. And I just like keep going back to like everything that you've said about Kevin, Maddie, because like it's just like such, I feel like Kevin, you've been encouraging to me through her of like, okay, no, we're not quitting. We're gonna do this.
I think so often, like the spouse can really get lost in this business. And when I first started this business, somebody told me, and I know that at least both of you on here, like know the Lord and your relationship is centered around Christ. And they told me like, you know, like Satan will really attack your marriage and, like will really make the man feel like, you know, like, oh, he's not pulling his weight or whatever it may be, you know, all of those things that really society puts a label on, but it's not the truth. And like something that I can like seriously say for Kevin is that like, he really just keeps supporting, even if I'm like, this is not working right now. Like I get annoyed and, you know, he just is a constant in that. And I think that that's something that like, I would say, like I've prayed for, like, and made sure that like, we're strong and like, hey, are you okay with this? Are you okay if I do this meeting tonight? But definitely like keep in prayer about your marriage through our bond, because if like, you know, when we do, I'm not going to say if we do, I'm going to say when we do get to the top level of our bond or even the third level of our bond, like it's life-changing, you know, it's life-changing money. And that's when Satan will attack. I mean, I think we'll attack all times, but I just want to throw that in there.
So Kevin, what are your like hopes and dreams for when Maddie is making $22,000 a month?
Honestly, I don't even really think about hitting that. Not saying you can't get there, but you know, honestly, I wasn't even thinking, because I pay into like multiple things for my job. So I'm like, you know what, if you do, then by the time I retire, you'll have everything essentially too. So
yeah, what age are you going to retire?
Like 53,
I think. And
okay.
I like if I was teaching, like I wouldn't be able to retire until I'm like 65.
Right.
So like we talked about like, oh my gosh, like can you imagine like there'd be like 7 years or whatever where like I still have to just keep working, 7 or 8 years where I just keep working, and like he can, because like I know like he loves his job, like he loves being in law enforcement, and so he'll keep his job, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but
I probably will, but honestly, like if you're making 22 grand and stuff, reconsider doing stuff. But as far as what we would do, man, obviously I love living somewhere warm, so I'm definitely gonna pick that. But
he's gonna be leaving. He's going to Florida.
Probably just being able to bless people without having to even think about a paycheck or something. Every day, anytime you go to the store, you could just pick up people's bills and stuff, and you know, just that's some crazy power right there. But and the Lord, I feel like, would bless you in the long run anyway for doing that. And if you're given that opportunity, it's for a reason. You know, the Lord trusts you with that power.
Yeah.
It's worldly power, but it's a lot of power. It can do a lot.
Well,
of
it's
good.
power that can change into like him being, you know what I mean? Like him, like them seeing God through that. Yeah. Heather, do you have anything?
I don't have a question, but I might, but not that I can think of off the top of my head. But I mean, I even remember like when like you first started talking to me about this, and like I like wanted to find time to like talk to Scott before my like first like 30-day run, and we're just like ships and I didn't get a chance. So like when it like showed up, I just had the box sitting there. I hadn't even opened it yet, and I'm like, okay, I have something that I want to talk to. And he has been just like so amazing and like so supportive and encouraging. It's been great to see him like try the products. Like he loves the protein shakes. He loves the fit. He got the men's like face care, and like he just like said something to me like a couple of weeks ago. I was telling Maddie about it. He was like, "Can you order more?" Because I really liked it. And so it's cool to see like him like see the results of the products too. But he's been like so encouraging for me, and like it really has been like a lifestyle change. Like it was so important for me to just like do something for myself and like try the products like on my own, and like I don't know, to even like I don't know, to even like go back to like Bowling Green this weekend, like I live like a different lifestyle. Like I don't really like live that life anymore, and like definitely am like more in tune like with my faith and like committed to being like a follower of Christ. It was cool for people to like see like that I've changed and like say something about it, or even like just like it, not necessarily like in my appearance, because I don't think it's like all about like body image, but just like how I hold myself, the confidence I have, the like the priority I make, like working out and everything, and like really just trying to live like a 80-20. And so it just like made me really proud and of like utilizing Arbonne and like being proud to like represent like a company that truly has like the health and well-being in mind of other people. Sorry, that was a tangent. I didn't really talk to a lot of people today. Also, another thing that I was thinking about is like I love my job. Like I love working for the American Heart Association. I love that my work life supports my personal goals, and I can like work out during my lunch break there. Like we have like self-care September going on right now, so that's like tied in perfectly, and just like being a part of like a health and wellness organization. But like today, like when I was like getting out of bed, I'm like, I don't want to do this forever. Like I love it, but I don't even know if I like want to work like full time for like a company or an organization, you know what I mean? And so like the thought that this has like more financial freedom and like something that I would still get to do, but like kind of like on my own terms and putting that time into it, it's really inspiring to me because I'm very new. I'm just starting out, just starting to have conversation about it, but it's really, really inspiring to me that I could potentially get to that point, especially if, you know, I'm prayerful about it and, you know, I really put the time in to like make the impact and make the difference.
Yeah. It's so good. It's funny because like really what really changed like my thought process when we were talking about a family, and Kevin literally said to me like, well, I want you to stay home with our kids one day. And I was like, I'm not doing that. Like I was like, no, like that's not who I am. Like that's never something that I wanted. And then like honestly, like when we would like watch Gracie, you know, like my niece, like our niece, like I was like, yeah, like I want to be home with my children. Like I want to stay home with my babies but like still be able to work, like still like have this thing that is mine and that I'm passionate about because I love helping people. And so I feel like Arbonne really bridges it's time financial freedom, but like you still are living out something that maybe like you feel like it's a call on your life. So, all right. Thank you.
Cool. I'm running out of here.
Hope he didn't have any more questions because he's gone. Thanks, Kev. Okay, so I'm just gonna like talk about a couple more things, and then if you guys have any questions or if you just want to chat for a little bit, we can. So there, I was listening to. Do you guys know who Cecilia Stoll is? Cecilia Stoll-ish. Okay, so I'm just gonna tell you who she is because I think sometimes we throw around who these people are, but sometimes when we're new at Arbonne, like people don't know. So Cecilia Stoll has been in the business for 15, 16 years, maybe. It could be longer. I don't know. But she is Arbonne's top income earner. She is a 12 wide ENVP. So she's at the top level, right? And she's an ENVP because she's helped somebody get to the same level that she's at. That's where we get the E. So she's a 12 wide, meaning she has helped 12 other people get to the top level of the company. And that's the most that anybody has in our whole business. And I mean, I'm sure that she'll be even wider before we get to the next GTC, which is in April. So like, I can only imagine where she's headed. But I was listening to one of her trainings, and she really is a beautiful person. You know, and people talk about her like she's a celebrity, and like, yeah, I mean, in the Arbonne world she is, but like to me, like when I see celebrities, I see a human. Like she's a human, you know, like, and I know her backstory. Like she went through a hard divorce, and she went through like some really ugly life things, just like any of us do, but people don't talk about that. but I was listening to this training, and like, she loves the Lord. She really does. And one of the things that she says is like, pray like this business is up to God, but work like it's up to you. And I love that. Like, I just think that is such a, I think that just really shows grit. And because it's not easy to pray sometimes, right? But it's also not easy to work sometimes. And so I think like doing both of those simultaneously will change your business. But she was talking about her 12 wide, like her 12 business partners that are literally, I mean, she has more business partners than that, but those are the people that she helped get to the same level that she is, the highest level. And she was talking about just like pouring into them and what that looked like. But then she started talking about the Bible, and she talked about Jesus and his 12 disciples. And she's like, I am not at all talking about like me being Jesus. She's like, I'm just talking about like, I have these 12 people that walk with me and that literally are like the life of my business. And she's like, but think about Jesus and his 12 disciples. And now what do those disciples look like? How many disciples are there? Like all of us, like we're disciples, you know, like think about how like that literally just like spreads. And it was so encouraging to me, because even though Arbonne is not like a faith-based organization by any means, the people that are at the highest levels of this business, like pray for their business, and they pray for us. They pray for, you know, like they literally pray that Arbonne would be a vehicle to help people. And so I just thought that was really, really cool. And the other thing that she speaks over herself and she speaks over her team is that the rest of my life will be the best of my life. And every decision you make, pushing you towards that. So like, if it's not going to make your life better, if it's not going to make your family's life better or other people's lives better around you, like you have to make a different decision. You have to go a different way. And I think that really speaks a lot to Maddie that started Arbonne within the first, like, I would say within the first 5 months of my Arbonne journey. Like, I had so much self-doubt. I was so scared of what people thought of me. Now I could give two craps what somebody thinks about me. Like, I know that like God is working in and through my business, and I can see it every single day, even on the hard days. Like, even on those days where I tell Kevin, like, I don't know if I was made to do this. He's like, Maddie, look at the evidence. Like, this is where God has moved. And so now, like, realizing that, like, you know, the rest of my life will be the best of my life because I'm making decisions to get there. And I'm praying like the business is up to God and working like it's up to me. And so the kind of the thing that Kevin and I have come down to is like, this business is going to require sacrifice, but it's only short term. It's going to require sacrifice short term, and it's going to be long-term gain, because the work that you put in at the beginning, it gets easier and easier and easier as you go on. Like, I can even say that after 10 months, and I feel like I'm still working my tail off, you know, like talking to people and making sure that, you know, everybody on my team is like, has what they need. But it's my favorite work. Like, I literally can't wait to leave school so I can go work my Arbonne business. Like, I get so stoked. Like, I love it. And so I'm just going to leave you guys with a story of what happened today, because I was like, this is perfect. This is happening on team call day. So I have been reading the book, Draw the Circle, and it's like a 40-day prayer challenge. And I haven't really shared this with anybody except for my husband, but I have been reading it at school. So I get to school early, and I always have, but a little bit earlier. And I read, you know, the passage for that day. And then I pray, like I get on my knees and I pray. And because honestly, like praying for me is good, but praying on my knees changes my life. And so that's kind of what I've decided to do. And y'all, like, God has met me there so many days, I think every day. Like, he just, like, he has answered my prayers. And so I'm just gonna tell you about the first day that I started doing that, and then today. So the first day I started doing that was when I knew that I was not going to make it through the school year with the kids that I had. I knew that, like, I could not discipline them. I did not have the tools in my tool belt to discipline these kids and still be a good teacher and teach them what I need to teach them. but mostly love them well. Like I knew I could not love them well and discipline them at the same time. And so the first day I got on my knees and I just prayed like, God, like you have to discipline them through me. Like I literally cannot do it. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to do it. I don't know, like I have not been educated to do this. Like this is something that like is in your wheelhouse and you got to take control. So it comes around to last period of the day, and that's the period that's the worst. And kid you not, they acted up like normal, probably worse than normal. And I was like, I was just left and right, like, okay, this. It was like, I don't even know what I said. Like the period ended and I was like, okay, like God literally just handled all of it. Like he handled every single situation. And I called Kevin and I was like, you ain't gonna believe what happened. Like, you know, and it seemed like a small prayer, but it's not, in the sense of like, I have been given these kids to love. And so I don't want to break that bond. And that's what I think was, my heart was like, God, like you got to discipline them so I don't lose these kids, you know? And so that was, I felt like that, but I don't know. In the realm, it's small. It wasn't small at the time, but then today happened. So I've been praying for our businesses, and I prayed specifically for expansion today. That word just like came out of my mouth. So I just prayed for expansion. And y'all, 30 minutes later, one of my clients in Australia texted me and said, I want to start this business. Okay. like I cannot, like, yes, I have put in the work talking to her and signing her up and like, you know, all of that. So like I've done my side, but like I prayed like this business was up to God and he answered that prayer. Like, so am I supposed to be in this business? I think I am. You know, like, are you supposed to be in this business? I think you are. Like, I fully believe that everybody that's on this team, like God is handpicked to be here. And I'll stand on that. Like I will stand on that, and I will continue to circle you guys in prayer, because I know that you're here for a reason. And I know that your yes and that next yes that happens on your team is going to change that person's life. And then it's going to change another person's life. I have goosebumps, so that's great. But I just wanted to say that and just pour that out. And I'm just so thankful for you guys. And I'm so thankful for just your yes. So, okay, that's all I have. I am going to